Hey kids, hope you've been well. In today's tutorial, we will look at Edublocks and MicroPython. Edublocks is a graphical interface. It's a block-based an interface that allows you to perform or drag and drop blocks to create programs, write programs. It's got support for a few different languages. Edublocks supports Python primarily, MicroPython on the microbit, Python on the Raspberry Pi. It also supports Sonic Pi and programming for Minecraft. Edublocks was primarily put together or created. It was created by this little genius with the intention of helping kids to transition from block-based programming languages like Scratch to Python. So the block-based programs that you actually write with Edublocks you're actually writing code, because the blocks that you drag are, when you look at them on the screen, they actually show you the code, the Python code that you are writing. It's designed to make that transition from block-based programming languages like Scratch to text-based programming languages like Python a lot more easier. I'm going to pick a tutorial today. So we're going to write programs for the BBC microbit. So if you do not have a BBC microbit, we would highly recommend that you head over to Ostoylib and pick up a BBC microbit board. The microbit is a small little powerful device, costs around $27–28. You can find the microbit at the little microbit board at the shop. I'll show you where to pick one up in case you're interested in picking up a microbit board. There you go. So click on the microbit board and accessories and you will be taken to the microbit board. So the microbit board is a small little $30 board, really powerful. It was created by BBC and its partners in the UK. It's a very powerful board. You can program it using Python. You can program it using a block-based programming language. You can also program it using JavaScript. So a very versatile board. It's got a few different sensors on it. It's got a compass. It can tell temperature. It's got a sensor that can sense tilt. It's got a sensor that can sense movement. So it's got a fair amount of stuff, and it's got 25 LEDs on it. So accelerometer, a magnetometer, 25 LEDs, and 2 programmable buttons. So quite a powerful little board. Anyway, so we'll head now to Kids Can Code. Head over to Kids Can Code, and I'll point you to the tutorials that we'll be using today. So kidscancode.com, we use it extensively in class to access our tutorials. All the tutorials, the robotics, electronics tutorials, the coding tutorials that we do in class, you'll find all of them listed at kidscancode.com. So click on Let's Get Coding. That will take you to the learning management system. There are many different courses here. I won't go into all the detail, but you've got courses on 3D modeling, programming the BBC microbit, writing games with BBC microbit. You got 6–7 courses on Scratch, courses on electronics, Raspberry Pi, Arduino, Minecraft, Python programming, robotics, web development, and whatnot. So we'll just choose the course on Edublocks. And what we're going to do today is we basically create a simple program that allows us to that basically senses the button that we pressed, and it basically calls it out, prints it on the LED screen telling us which button was pressed. So I'm going to open up the tutorial here. There we go. Okay, there we go. So that's the tutorial opening up. Now I'm going to open up the tutorial and put it on the side. You'll find that the tutorial is all the tutorials that a lot of the tutorials that are listed are in PDF format. So you can scroll down and you'll find the code listed there, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this to the other side. That will allow us to focus on writing code. So I'll leave Kids Can Code for now. There are a few different tutorials over here. There are 5. The first one starts with an introduction to the BBC microbit, but today we're just going to focus on using the buttons, which is the first one. Let's head over back to Edublocks. I'll take you back to the Edublocks website. That's edublocks.org. If you scroll down, you will come to the Edublocks editor. Is written both for Raspberry Pi, or it was initially written for the Raspberry Pi, but it was also eventually published, or it was also eventually extended to the microbit. So let's go and launch the microbit editor. So there we go. So let's get started. We will start by, where's this? Okay, so we'll start by basic. In Python, you've got to import your libraries. So if you don't import the libraries, you don't really have any. You can't use any of the functionality. So let's say from microbit, import asterisk, which is import all the libraries within the microbit function. We'll then basically go and say while true. So I'm going to pick a while true loop. So while true, and then I want to add buttons. So I'm saying button A is pressed, but I want to loop again. I'm saying if button A is pressed, else if button B is pressed. So what I'm going to do now, stick it inside that, and I will say if button A is pressed, then I want to display scroll, button A is pressed, button A, just say button A. Else if button B, so this is button underscore B is pressed, sorry, what am I doing? I want that. Button A is pressed, button B is pressed, then I want display, so I'll duplicate this and I will say display button B. Okay, so a very simple program. All I'm doing is I'm importing microbit. I'm importing all the libraries from microbit. I'm then saying while true, which basically is going to run. It's an infinite loop, because it always remains true. The condition doesn't change to false. If I'm placing an if loop within that, saying if button A of the microbit is pressed, then display on the microbit, which is display.scroll button A, and then I put an else if. You'll find both of these functions. You'll find both the while true, if, and else if, all within the basic blocks. And then you say else if button B is pressed, display button B. As simple as that. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to test it out. You probably won't be able to see this, but I can test this out. So I'm going to say download hex, and I'm going to write it to my microbit, and it's writing it right now. You obviously are not going to see it, but it has written it. And now let's test it out. There we go. And I clicked on the A button, and then it says button A. Clicked on button B, and it says button B. So really simple program. The tutorials for all of this is available at Kids Can Code. All our tutorials are available for free. I would highly recommend that you head over to Kids Can Code. There, I'll take you again to the website. So the website is Kids Can Code. All the tutorials that we use in class are available at Kids Can Code. Head over to the learning management system from Kids Can Code by clicking on Let's Get Coding. You can look at all your courses, all the options and all the different courses available within the course link. Click on Python. You should find the Edublocks course there, and there we go with the Edublocks. Click on the Edublocks, and we've skipped the first one. The first one is basically introduction to the BBC microbit. If you're just starting out, we would highly recommend listening to the videos and reading through some of the links. They are very informative and help you understand a lot more about the microbit. And the tutorial that we've done today is using the buttons. The link for the tutorial is here. If you are looking to pick up a microbit, then we would recommend that you head over to OzToyLib. The microbit's available at OzToyLib. It's an affordable board. That's a microbit adapter. So the microbit board is an affordable board, $28.99. It's got quite a lot of functionality packed into it, and you can use that to program, create amazing games. You can use it to create electronic circuits, which we will see in future tutorials, and also to create robots. There's a whole lot of robotics kits available. If you go into Store Home, you'll actually see a lot of microbit kits available. And in the coming videos, we will also explore some of the microbit robots, robotic kits that are available. We'll play around with some of them, and we'll also program them and have a lot of fun. Incidentally, all the tutorials for all of these are also listed at the Kids Can Code website. So Kids Can Code is a website that we, as I said, we use in class, and all the tutorials are available at Kids Can Code. So thank you. That was a short introduction to Python programming using Edublocks. We'll try out a few more tutorials in the coming days. Explore a bit more, explore Edublocks a little bit more, and see what kind of Python programs we might be able to write using Edublocks. Thank you for your time, and hopefully you've had fun. Happy hacking.